Hello everyone, we are looking at a quince. It finished flowering and now is in full leaf, and also I can see one little quince fruit on it, which I will close in on shortly. But let me quickly give it a turn. For the time being I'm going to leave it in its current pot, and it does need a tidy up. I am growing this for the flowers. When it's in bloom it is simply stunning, and I have a second one which also I will show in a moment. And there's the solitary fruit that it has borne this year. Can't quite understand, it was full of flowers and yet only one little quince. Anyway, I will now show you the second of my quinces. This is the second quince. It was stunning when it was in bloom. They are just pink flowers and no leaves, and it's when the flowers die down that's when the foliage comes out. Sadly on this one there are no fruits, unfortunately, and it is in a terracotta pot. Both the quinces came from a very reputable nursery in England, yet the soil is a bit of a disappointment, and so is this pot. The soil in the other one is also of a similar standard. It's just clay. Fail to understand why they are not repotted, but there we go. I will be repotting this one and see if I can sort this out. There's also see if I can sort out these and perhaps get more than one tree out of it, as there's about 3 branches or 3 trunks going up. Not quite sure if I can separate them, but we'll see. Taking it out of the pot is easy, just comes out just like that. No anchor wires, nothing, and you can see how badly root bound it had become. The soil is just flaking out, and it is clay with a bit of sand. Okay, I'll have to work on this. Now this is the pot selection phase. I have various round pots. This is the first of the round pots, and it's a little bit too big. So the next one that I have is slightly different. It's shallower and smaller. That's the second option, which is a lot shallower and a lot more closer, I think about a couple of centimeters wider all round. And the third choice is yet another round pot, which is this one here. There's a glazed one, and I am inclined to go for this one. Again, this is about a centimeter to a centimeter and a quarter wider than the previous one, and so it looks like this is my favorite thus far, and most probably this is the one that I will be repotting it in. I have cleared the soil from the roots, most of it, and I'm going to tidy up these roots. Some of these roots are not doing anything, and I'm going to remove these surface roots. like I may have salvaged a little plant out of this root tidy. There's this, and there's roots attached to it, so I'm going to have to take it very slowly to take these roots out. Catch up shortly. Right, I've managed to salvage this little cutting which was sticking out from the base and has roots, so I will be planting this in a separate small little pot. So continue with the repotting of this main one, and I think I will also remove this root here. Right, we're now ready to repot. I'm also going to use a bit of sphagnum moss to wrap around the root and shove it in between the roots to give it a head start. This is something which I've seen being done on the internet by Dr. Levitt, and he swears by it, so I'm starting to experiment to see how well it works. So we'll catch up shortly. It is now time to tighten the anchor wire, and as I've said many times before, the technique is to pull, take the slack, release and turn. So it's pull, take the slack, release and turn. Pull, release and turn. If you don't follow this technique and continue to tighten, the anchor wire will break and you'd have to start all over again. At least by doing it this way, you can physically see when there is no more slack, and that's the point to stop. Yeah, it's pretty secure. I'm trying to separate these two sort of trunks. They are just fighting with each other, shoving into each other, and I've prepared this little splint, and I've used concave cutters to cut this end and this end so that it's fits in with the branches and the trunk and sits fairly snugly. I will do a close-up and put this in. This splint will stay there for 3-4 months, and I will check. Once the trunks stay apart, the splint will be taken out, and I will put a slightly larger splint to create more distance between the two trunks. But for now this will suffice. And this is a view from further back, and it has improved the appearance of this little quince tree. I've given it a good soak and give it a quick turn. That is my front. And I will be wiring up some of these branches to reposition them, but that's for another day. Back to the front. Now I will be dealing with the little baby quince that I rescued from the bottom of the pot. I have finished preparing the pot, and it is now ready to receive the little baby quince. I had put it in water to keep it wet and stop it from drying out, and I'm not going to cut any of the roots back. It'll need all the help it can get, and I will start repotting it in a minute. As with the mummy plant, I'm wrapping up the roots in sphagnum moss, and this root is too high, so this is going to have to come off. Off. The rest of it is wrapped up, and I will now place it in the pot and tie it up with a anchor wire. Secure it with this. Before that, plenty of soil. Now time to tighten the anchor wire. So here we go. plenty of slack, so I can keep tightening it. I will now go and give it a thorough soak. It's all done. We're looking at the quince repotted, and I have ended up with a second baby quince, and we're looking at the front of both of the trees, and I've decided to call them mother and daughter, and I'll give it a quick turn. It is fairly hot here, and for this reason, for the next 2 weeks, both of these trees will be kept in complete shade. Thank you for watching, and to watch more, please subscribe.